Hello and welcome. Writing a children's book is tough. Illustrating one is even tougher. I'm happy to be joined by Olivier Tallec, who's a very well-known illustrator from France and also has a lot of experience in illustrating books which are very interesting and yet complex in the themes and the subjects that they explore and evoke. Olivier, thank you very much for speaking with us. So let me pick up one example of a work that you've done, Big Wolf and Little Wolf. Right? This is the story about a big wolf and there's a little wolf that comes along, and they both live together for a while, and then one day the little wolf goes away. And then I think you've explored the heartbreak and the pain that the big wolf goes through and how he waits for the little wolf, and then one day the little wolf comes back.
Right.
So that's the story. Tell us where you pick up and how you built upon that.
Well, I'm not a writer. I'm not writing my own stories.
Right.
So I received this story from my publisher, and I met the author, the writer, after publication. So when I received this text, for me the most important is to tell a story in the story. I mean, to have things which are not in the text, in the illustration, and things in the illustrations which are not in the text.
Right.
I think the most important is the relation between the text and the images.
Right. And how did you develop that? I mean, can you give us some examples? Like, for instance, if the text talked about, let's say, the big wolf waiting and watching into the horizon, looking at the horizon, how would you illustrate that, and would you say the same thing? Or
well, no, because this text is not too descriptive. It's just well, when I receive a text, for example, I try to forget it. I mean, I read it first time or 2 times if I need, and I put it and I start to work just of what I remember from this text. So in general, I forget the few things which are not important in the stories. So that's why my images are suggest a few things which are not in the text.
So when you illustrate, I mean, you could be illustrating for anyone, and yet your audience is between the ages of 4 and 8. Right?
Usually.
Yeah. So how do you, illustrate for that age group or younger people?
I'm not thinking about
the
age. I'm just working and drawing because I like the story, and I don't think about the readers. So for me, it's not the problem. If this kind of book can be for 8 or even for adults, but
right, yeah.
It's not the problem of age.
Okay. What about the style itself? You obviously have your own distinctive style of illustration. How did you develop that? And
well, I'm painting, and I use paintings and pencils, and I don't use a computer or digital. So I'm painting since many years, and since I'm a kid, and so yes, when I receive a text, I usually start directly to paint with a brush, and I start like this.
So when did you paint or illustrate your first book?
It was in 1996, I think.
And how did that happen?
Well, in fact, I was working in an advertising agency, and I would like to work for children books. So I've been door to door with my few drawings, and to show my work to the publishers. And one publisher, Gallimard, asked me to illustrate a first book, and a second one, and a third one.
So amongst the books that you've illustrated, I think more than 50 as I understand, what is are there any common themes? Are there some...
What do you mean by common themes?
For instance, Big Wolf, Little Wolf is a story about relationships. It's about, what happens when 2 people move away and so on. Are your other stories similar stories?
Well, for me, each book is an exercise, is a kind of challenge. So I try to choose my text and to choose different text and from different subjects. But I try to find some subjects which are important for me, like relationships, like death, like many subjects which are subjects of the life of every day.
And do you have a favorite or something that's influenced you in some way?
Not really, because when I receive text, I'm like a reader. I just read it and I like it or I don't like it. But no, I don't have
a specific.
But
is there a text that has, I mean, you've been moved by or has had a profound impact on you? Any of the illustrations you've done, or the stories for which illustrations you've done?
In my past, in my work. Yeah.
Any of the stories which have had an impact on you?
Well, the most important for me was a text called "The Scar," and this is about the death of a mother, and so this is a quite sad subject, but the text is not only sad; it's about many. I don't find the word. Anyway, this is important for me because this is there are not too many books about this kind of subject, and this subject is a subject of every day, but we are not talking about it. So
what happens then in this?
When I received this text, first I was a little bit afraid because it's difficult to draw and to paint about death, but as I said, it was a kind of challenge, and I have to find something very specific in the drawing. So I've decided to work with color and with a red color to have something very graphic and very strong images.
Right. And what's next now, and what are you working on
now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm always working on 3 or 4 projects, and
is there one that we should be looking out for?
Well, I try to work on a project where I'm a writer and illustrator.
And can you tell us something about the theme?
It's about how to explain politics to kids.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Great, Olivier. That's a good note, and we should look out for this book. And I hope you're doing an India edition as well, because it's a very important subject for us too.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.